What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name After Sound, and I do have a new song out recently called Just Kids, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, let's talk about the land resources and the land cards that will be using up said resources, and specifically how long it will take us to recoup that amount of resources. So what do I mean by this? Okay, so we have these costs that are coming in based on how much the land cards are, and assuming all the land cards do get created, what I'm trying to calculate here is based on today's run rate of how much we are net producing, how long would it take us to actually refill the coffers? Or let's say, there's no rush on this. How long would it take to essentially get to that point where we're using that much? So for example, and grain is actually not the best example, but I'll start with grain just because it's essentially non-existent. You can see here with grain that we are flat. The amount that we produce daily, again, in aggregate, is just above how much we consume daily, right? So 141.8 minus 141.5, it's almost negligible. And the thing is, grain is going to require, hold on, I have this on a separate screen here, so you guys will be able to check my math. I'm telling you exactly how I do it, but I apologize, I don't have it. I won't have it up here in front of you. I'm just going to read it off to you. So with grain, for example, we are going to be using 2.3 billion grain out of the 9.15 that we have right now. So in order for us to recoup that 2.3 billion grain, we'd have to be producing way more than we currently are, and we're not. So to me, that's essentially like infinity. We're not going to get that back, which is great for grain because we're going to chew through a lot of that, assuming, again, all the cards get created. Now, wood, on the other hand, this is the one I'm most excited about because this has the biggest impact, but the total supply of wood is 859 million. Wood is set to burn, or set to use 540 million. So like a very, very significant amount, more than half, right? And you can see we have a net production of about 7.3 or so million wood per day, right? We produce that much more than we consume. And so when you look at this and you track it, let me go ahead and bring this up again, but that would take roughly like 74 days. So when you think about, we're at like mid-November right now, we're a little bit past mid-November, but that would get us to like December, like end of January, maybe early February is when we would expect the wood supply to essentially get back to its level that it is today. Again, assuming, of course, that we're in that spot. Now with stone, we are doing a net production of like 2.7 or so, and we are set to burn or set to use up 90 million stone. Stone is the least amount. That is only going to get us about 33 days. So that gets us to like, we'll just say like the end of the year, end of December, maybe early January, depending on, when stuff comes out. Actually, I'm not even looking at the right way, so don't take these dates in mind because obviously I'm assuming land comes out in a couple of weeks here, but you get my point, right? We're just looking sometime into next year. So let's shift this into early December. So for wood, that would take roughly 2.5 months. So probably mid to late February. With stone, that would be sometime early to mid January, right? And for iron is the last one. We are set to burn or set to use 40 million iron. That's about 1/3 of the total supply that's currently out there, and we produce about 0.84 million per day, right? 840,000. So on net, it would take us roughly 47 days. So we'll just say a month and a half. That gets us to end of January, maybe early February, right? 47 days or so. And then finally, you have aura here. We got 148 million, or just under 149 million. We are set to use 95 million of that, which is a very significant amount. That's almost 2/3. But with the amount of aura that we produce daily, 1.48, we would essentially recoup that in 64 days. So just about 2 months. That would get us to, we'll say, early February, right? Now, the thing is, keep in mind, for something like aura, and actually for all of the items here, but for each of them, the land cards are not going to be the only thing that's there, right? So we know that whether it's mage wagons come up, that'll increase utility, whether it's midnight potions, whether it's any other thing that requires aura, or any of these other resources, that could potentially come in. But roughly, where does this get us? I would say that it gets us into mid Q1, right? We'll say like mid-February is where I'm feeling for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I mean, some of them might be earlier, like stone in January, but for the most part, it gets us into a situation where if land cards are done, and Cryptomancer's getting started on Land 2.0 and whatever that's going to look like. My hope is that they will have some deliverables in Q1 for Land 2.0 or whatever it's going to be, Land 1.8, 1.9, whatever they want to phrase it as, but something in which to get the game exciting, add more utility, add more variation, add more complexity in a good way, right? By that point in time. That's roughly 3 months from now, right? I'm talking about mid-February. So if the team can get stuff by then or by the end of Q1, even in March, that would be fantastic because we would burn through a lot of this stuff, we would recoup it, and then we would get into the next situation where, hopefully a lot of this stuff is not at the levels that we're seeing today, right? It would, for example, like grain and wood absolutely would not be. But who knows? We'll see how the rest of it plays out. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I have for you guys in the video. Just want to share some of those numbers with you in time frames. But again, just very high level, mid Q1 is when a lot of these would be recouped. And my hope is that we will see some cool stuff from Land 2.0, or at least the road to Land 2.0 at that point in time. That is all I have for you guys in the video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.